Are you still creating 5 different charts just to track 5 different KPI in Power BI, or worse? Are you writing massive switch DAX measures just to let your users change a metric? If that sounds like you, you're wasting time and hurting performance. Switch selected value. This works technically. You throw it in a slicer and it swaps the calculation. But let's be honest, it's not scalable. If you want to add a new KPI next month, you have to dig into DAX code and manually edit it. Plus, it can slow down your report. There had to be a better way. Today, I'm going to show you how to build professional dynamic dashboards using field parameters, the modern way. Field parameters are a feature in Power BI that allows your end users to dynamically switch the fields, like measures or dimensions, inside a single visual just by clicking a slicer. Think of it as giving your users a remote control for your charts. Alright, let's build this together. I'm going to walk you through the exact steps. Alright, let's start with measure switching. In order to create the field parameter, go to Modeling tab, New Parameter, Fields. Name it something clear like metric parameter. Now drag in your measures: sales, revenue, margin, cost, whatever KPI you need. Let me add one more measure that calculates the margin percentage. Hit Create. Power BI automatically generates a table and a slicer for you. Let's look at what Power BI created behind the scenes. It created a new table for us. Inside, you'll see 3 columns: the display name, the field reference using measures, and the order. This is all handled automatically. You don't need to write this yourself. Let me quickly update the display names for the metric parameters. Now, let's build the visual. I will change the slicer to single selection so it is easier to demonstrate. I will add a line chart and move it next to our slicer so we can use the canvas effectively. Let me put my date on the x-axis. Now pay close attention here. To make the chart dynamic, we do not put our original measures here. We drag the metric parameters into the values bucket. Watch this. I click Revenue. Boom, chart updates to revenue. I click Margin. Instant switch. And here is the real power. This isn't just for one chart. This metric parameters is a measure. You can use it anywhere you use a normal measure. One slicer controls the entire page. As you can see, I turned on the data labels, and it automatically shows the correct values. For example, percentages for margin and numbers for revenue. We've seen how swapping measures gives us flexibility, but the real power of field parameters comes when we apply them to our dimensions. Let's take it a step further. I'll create another parameter, but this time, instead of measures, I'll select dimension fields from my data model. For this example, let's choose pharmacy type, product category, and country name. Just like before, Power BI does the heavy lifting, creating a slicer and a supporting table automatically in the background. Let's quickly adjust the slicer to our preferred view. Now for the magic. I'll take this new product parameter, which holds our dimensions, and drag it onto the axis of this same stacked bar chart. Notice I can also combine this with the metric parameter we built earlier. By placing both on the visual, we're giving our users the power to customize the chart completely. And that's the game changer. With just one click in the slicer, my users can now analyze revenue or margin trends by pharmacy type, switch to see it by product category, or even view it by country. They have total control to explore the data from any angle. That's true, self-service flexibility. But we're not done yet. Here are 3 pro tips to take this even further. First, you can combine field parameters with calculation groups for incredibly complex and dynamic analysis. Now, in just a few clicks, we have a completely new view. We can track any KPI sliced by any product dimension over time, all within a single visual. Field parameters are, without a doubt, one of the most underutilized features in Power BI. But once you start using them to combine measures and dimensions, you'll never go back to writing complex switch measures or cluttering your reports with multiple, nearly identical charts. Imagine you have an executive who wants to switch between KPI instantly. If you are building real-world business reports, like finance dashboards, local versus global currency views, or month comparisons, this is a game changer. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe for more Power BI architecture tips. Thanks for watching and happy reporting!